Just a few months ago, Keith Hernandez labeled the Phillies as defensively unsound. But who's in the World Series and who is not? Good evening, everyone. Colin Daly, Benjamin Goldstein here. The Philadelphia Phillies are in the World Series, playing baseball October 28th, something nobody saw coming. They proved many, many baseball fans wrong, and here we are. Back in the World Series for the first time since 2009, the Phillies will look to change the theme of their organization, and all it takes is 4 more wins.
4 more wins,
The
Topper.
Phillies Pregame Live, brought to you by SeatGeek.
Woo!
Start us off.
Lock her up!
No, we're wilding in Houston.
We're wilding in Houston. All right. First of all, let's just take a step back. The Philadelphia Phillies are in the World. They're in the World Series. First of all, like and subscribe. But the Phillies are in the World Series. Let me just tell you a few things. The last time the Phillies were in the World Series, I was 2 years old. Now I'm 15, and I'm actually going to pull up a picture of the last time the Phillies were in the World Series. Colin was a big fan of this one. Where is it? Here we go. That's the last time the Phillies were in the World Series. This is me now. Just a little bit of a difference. That just shows you how long it's been.
I don't have a picture, unfortunately. Hate to disappoint the viewers.
Wow.
But I do not have a picture. I don't know.
But
I don't know.
I mean, the Phillies are in the 2022 World Series. This team started out, they were 22 and 29 and fired Joe Girardi, who was brought in here like the next coming of God, or Jesus for our Christian viewers. Like the next coming of Jesus, and look at him now. They fired him 22 and 29 on what was it, July 1st, June 1st?
June 3rd is when
June
Rob Thompson
3rd. They fired him, and in came Rob Thompson, this little old guy who was the bench coach. He's been in baseball forever, and look where he's led this team. The World Series. I don't know how many times I've said it since Sunday. The Philadelphia Phillies are in the World Series. It's so weird. So weird. But here we are.
Yeah, I mean, it all began in March. Nick Castellanos, Kyle Schwarber inked deals. The Phillies were an offensive powerhouse, or so they thought they were.
Yeah.
They were 8 games below 500 when April came to an end. 8 games below 500. They were 4th place in the National League East. They were behind the Marlins. Are you kidding me? That's insulting.
Yeah, it's bad.
Miami Marlins are one of 2 Major League Baseball teams to not have a winning season in this entire decade since 2010. That's 12 years.
Yeah.
All it took was the little Robbie that could. That's not. Look at me go. The little. Oh man, the little Robbie that could. You can tell how excited we are for the World Series baseball, just coming up here in about 55 and a half minutes. The 8.5 minutes if you include those 3 minutes, the 8:03.
Yeah.
No one likes that though. But no, World Series baseball, Ben. I mean, it's hard to comprehend, right? This team has been through so many ups and downs, so many struggles. Just none of this seemed probable at really any point in the season. I mean, even last week it seemed very, very improbable. Yet they continue to power through these games.
Not last week.
Oh, come on. We talked about this. My confidence level was always 0. All right, fine. 2 weeks ago.
3 weeks.
When I saw the 100 and whatever.
This same exact team was swept in Chicago.
I don't understand.
In the end of September. Now they're in the World Series. And this Cubs stunk.
Something changed. I really cannot put it together. I mean, it's been impressive what they've done considering where they were, a month ago, 3 months ago, 5 months ago in spring training, really. I mean, we didn't expect that it would take Brandon Marsh and Noah Syndergaard to come in here and really clean things up, fill those holes. But Dave Dombrowski got it done. And I do want to point out one thing, and I might have mentioned this in one of our podcasts, but I figured that this is game one pretty monumental, and I'm bringing it up again. Part of this you need to credit, and when I say this, I'm referring to everything. I'm referring to the deadline acquisitions, so getting in the playoffs, getting to the World Series.
Firing their manager.
You have to give some of this to, oh my gosh, long day, Ben. Got to give some of this to the front office. I mean, the Phillies are 22 and 21, 29 at one point. Bryce Harper had a tear in his UCL. They could have recalled their best prospects, got guys playing time, inserted Bryson Stott in their lineup every day, put Bryce Harper on the IL, let him get fully healthy. But no, they decided they were not going to waste a season. Like, can you imagine? Like, the Phillies were a few losses away for probably just hanging it up for the season, right? I mean, you get to you don't go on that winning streak and fire Joe Girardi, and we're not where we are right now. Yeah. We're having an off-season meeting to discuss off-season plans. We're not recording a pregame show for the World Series. I mean, it's pretty crazy when you think about where the Phillies were at one point, just a few months ago, where they are now. And, you might say the impact has been through the players. This guy's improved. This guy's developed. This guy's progressed. This guy's found form. But some of it has to go to Dave Dombrowski, the front office, Sam Fuld. All those guys up there deserve a ton of credit, too.
Sam Fuld.
GM.
Yeah.
No one – that's the weird thing about how it works. No one knows who these people are. It's about the name, not the position. Everybody saw
no one knows Sam Fuld because he doesn't do anything. It's all Dave Dombrowski. And also, I got to give credit to John Middleton. You have to give credit to John Middleton. I've met John Middleton a couple times now, actually. When I sat in John Middleton's suite, he said my dad went up to him and my dad said thank you. At that time, it was September 22nd. They were playing the Braves, and they had a playoff spot. My dad said thank you for everything. And John Middleton said, "Don't thank me yet." We saw, and then my dad and I were at Game 3 of the NLDS, the first postseason game back in Philadelphia since Game 5 of the 2011 NLDS. We saw John Middleton in the concourse. He recognized us, and my dad said, "You told me not to thank you when we sat in your suite. You told me to wait until we made the postseason. Now I can thank you." He said, "No, thank you." So John Middleton, he said he's doing everything he can, and he sure
did.
Good
for him, too.
Look where the frickin' Phillies are now. John Middleton is one of the nicest people I've ever met in my entire life, and I can't be more happy for anyone than him.
Yeah, it's awesome what he's done with this organization, especially coming off weak management that we've seen in the past.
Yeah.
He's really made such an impact, and not just in baseball, just in the entirety of the organization. He's made improvements in every aspect, which is great to see.
Remember when that tweet was tweeted and it was the John Middleton apology form?
I do.
I think we
all need to fill those out.
And everyone was clowning. I forget who posted it, but everyone was clowning them. Like, why would I think this guy just went over the luxury tax for the first time since he's bought the team? I think we can thank him now. I think we can fill out that form.
Yes. All right. So we're going to get into.
And you know what? From John Middleton, he's only going to do more this offseason.
This is true. We're going to move into our pitching matchups for game number 1. Justin Verlander and Aaron Nola will be facing it off here in just a little bit under an hour. Ben, give me the scouting report on Mr. Aaron Nola.
Mr. Aaron Nola had a tough outing last time in Game 2 in San Diego. He gave up that hit to his brother, and everything went downhill then. He had fifth inning, fourth inning?
Around then, yep.
And somewhere in the middle of innings. He had a tough go. Padres were just hitting everything he was throwing them. And, should he have been taken out earlier? Yes. And, there's so many things that go with it. But Aaron Nola just completely fell apart. It's his first World Series start. The last time the Astros lost was to Aaron Nola on October 3rd when they clinched the playoffs. So Aaron Nola had success against the Astros. Did the Astros maybe feel bad for him? Yeah. They wanted to make the playoffs? Yeah. Sympathy. But, He still pitched great. I would expect the same.
Yeah, I mean, Aaron Nola has been very good all season. He's starting to find his we call it his Cy Young form, his 2018 form. And now that he's found that, he's been very, very effective. I mean, that curveball's been much tighter this season. His control is what's really stood out to me, and his ability to get lefties and righties out. I mean, he's he's kind of found his niche with both left-handers and right-handers. I mean, he's always had success getting right-handers out. Even in times where he's not been as sharp with that curveball. But the two seam, the changeup, which has had a little bit more break on it this season. Both of those things being implemented regularly has helped him greatly. And I mean, there are those kinds of small things that really make a difference, especially at the major league level. For the Astros, they'll have Justin Verlander going.
The old man.
Yeah, he's as Marcolino of Messed Up Podcast would say, he aged like a fine wine. I mean, he's 39 years old. He's having his best season. I mean, he's 18-4 in the regular season with a 1.75 earned run average. He's, I said this if you checked out the FAQ article, which was one of the articles that was leading up to this series. I said that he is as close to locking the Cy Young Award as you can get without actually getting the Cy Young Award. I mean, no one in the league is. I mean, maybe Dylan Cease for the American League, you could say, is in contention there, but no one is close to the season Justin Verlander put up. And while you would expect him to continue that into the playoffs, he historically and this season has not been as good in the playoffs, specifically in the World Series, where he has had very, very minimal success. To give it a little rundown of this postseason, he is coming off a very good start against the Yankees. 6 innings, 11 strikeouts, just 1 run. But he got roughed up by Seattle. And the thing that I find very interesting is that he did not really change much between those two starts. So it's hard to tell which version of it's going to be very hard to tell in the early innings. Which version of Verlander we're going to get. Like the ratio of fastball to off-speed pitch to breaking ball in game 1 was almost the same as his second game, in which he was much, much better. The only difference I saw is that this is usually the opposite, but in his successful game 2, he actually was throwing less strikes.
Yep.
Which usually you think that means more success, but when he was pitching against the Mariners were hitting the strikes, and they were hitting them very hard. The average exit velocity that he allowed was almost 10 miles per hour higher in that Mariners game than it was against the Yankees, who are a better offensive team. So, I mean, that is one thing to look at, but of course, you see that all the time. Guys who have 103 mile per hour ground outs, and then there's a 67.2 mile per hour single. Yeah. So that's hard to judge off of. But I mean, Verlander is obviously one of the best pitchers in baseball, probably the best pitcher in baseball. So it's going to be interesting to watch him pitch, because he can always turn it around. So even if he gets off to a rough start, do not count him out for the next 3, 4, 5 innings, because he will pick it back up eventually.
Verlander, how old he is, correct?
39.
Justin Verlander is having the best season, possibly the best season of his career.
Oh, yes.
39. His velocity is at an all-time high. At the age 39, it's incredible.
It's increased by over an entire mile per hour this season, his average fastball velocity. And that's coming off a season where he made what did he pitch? Like 9 innings last year?
Not much.
In 2021? Not much at all. So yeah, I mean Verlander, like I said, he aged like a fine wine. He's gonna go out there, give you a solid start. He has not had a lot of success in the World Series. Excuse me. So I'm curious to see how it's going to play out. But I mean, the worst case scenario for the Astros is he gives you 5 innings and allows a few runs. Quite frankly, that is not too bad, especially as your worst case scenario. So unfortunately for the Phils, I can't see a world where Justin Verlander does not dominate this Phillies offense. But only time will tell.
Yeah. See what happens.
Give me your for the Astros lineup here. Who is the biggest threat in there, and who might who is the guy that you think people are overlooking, and who's the guy I think who is being too heavily focused on?
Well, the biggest threat, obviously, is the best left-handed hitter in the American League. His name is Yordan Alvarez. Dude's incredible. Someone that's being underlooked. I think people are looking at Jose Altuve like he stinks, he's wild, whatever. He's overdue to get hot.
I mean, you're exactly right there. I mean, can we go into our standout stats?
Yeah, sure. Well, his standout stats brought to you by SeatGeek.
Give me your we got Siki guy coming up for you in 3, 2, 1.
Ticket prices for the World Series are at an all-time high in Philadelphia. It's like ridiculous. And you know what? You can save some money on SeatGeek with code Philly Sports Report. You can save $20 off your first purchase of SeatGeek. SeatGeek is a ticketing app that takes the confusion out of buying tickets. All you got to do is go to SeatGeek.com or download the SeatGeek app. Look up the Philadelphia Phillies or the Philadelphia Eagles or the Sixers or the Flyers or the Union or the Wings or the Freedom, the tennis team, the Phoenix, the Frisbee team, or a concert. Any city, wherever you want to go, anything that requires a ticket, you can get it on SeatGeek. You want to click on the green dots, not the red dots. The green dots are the good deals. Red dots are the bad deals. Screw those red dots. Stick with those greenies. Anyway, at checkout, you're going to type the code right there. Code Philly Sports Report, and you will save $20 off your first SeatGeek order. Ticket prices are through the roof for the World Series, and you got to save some money. $20 off your first SeatGeek order.
Thanks, Ben. So, yeah, I mean, you make a very good point with Altuve. So, my standout stat, which we're jumping a little ahead here, but that's okay. Dating back to 2021, he is 3 for his last 35 in the postseason. Awful.
Awful.
And that is an average well below 100. It's in the 080s, I think. Not too much of math whiz. But, I mean, that's for a player like Altuve, that's unacceptable.
Yeah.
And, I mean, you'd think that he should pick it up, but, I mean, historically and statistically, it's possible he might not. I mean, he's only a 242 career hitter in the World Series, which he's had a pretty good amount of experience in, especially recently. Right, 2017 he was there, and this past season he was there when they lost to the Braves in 6 games. So, Altuve, while I actually think that he might be getting underlooked.
Underlooked, yeah.
Yes. Really just because of the fact of, he had a great regular season. And that's something to look for, I think. When you're considering Altuve, though, maybe his numbers aren't the best right now, but I hate to say it, but whether you think he cheated, did not cheat, used the buzzer, didn't use the buzzer, banged trash cans, didn't bang trash cans.
He was against he was against the trash cans, but I think he did use the buzzer. I was about to say.
So they say.
I was about to say maybe he wasn't. Maybe he was. Maybe he's not struggling this offseason. Maybe he's struggling this postseason because he doesn't have a. Or he doesn't have a.
It's possible.
Possible?
It's quite possible.
You never know.
Yeah, so never know. So the other guy that I'm going to look at is Alex Bregman, who, again, contrasting stats here, 975 postseason OPS, 2 playoff home runs. This is just this season, but in the World Series in his career, again, lots of experience, 188 batting average. So, it's going to – and this is, I think, the theme for this Astros team is I'm not too sure what to expect out of them because you have the Verlander, who, great regular season, okay postseason, very, very bad World Series. Jose Altuve, great regular season, dismal postseason and World Series. experience. Alex Bregman, great postseason so far. Very, very bad historical World Series numbers. I don't know what to expect. Ben, what do you got for us?
Did you know Alex
Probably not.
Bregman? Alex Bregman, roommates with Aaron
Oh,
Nola
I
in
did know this.
college.
LSU.
Yep,
They were roomies.
roommates,
They'll
and they
face each other
and
in
they were
just Ben. 40
and they were
minutes?
roommates,
42.
and
They
they
were
were
roommates.
roommates.
It's like brotherly love, but like roommatey love. We've got coming up here
It's
in just
wild that
under
in
40
Houston.
minutes. Wild in Houston.
It's wild that in Houston. How
We
did
are
that
about to
start?
be wild. I don't know. I just said it on like the pregame show in the middle of the division championship series, and here we are.
Yeah.
I mean, it works.
It's wild that in Houston.
Wild, and you should also make sure that if you're interested in checking out the pregame events down in the field, they will be broadcasted, I believe, a little
Probably
after
Fox will have them.
7:30 on Fox or yeah, these are all on Fox, not Fox Sports One. So make sure to keep that in mind when you're going to get the game. And of course, it will be available on YouTube TV, Fubo, Direct TV, and
All the special stuff.
all those special streaming
If
services
you
that I
cut
do
your
not
cord,
use.
I'm actually not going to say anything about cutting the cable.
I'd stay away from that.
Yeah.
All right, so we got about 8 more minutes for pregame show coming up here. We're going to move to our keys to the game.
Brought to you by
Ben,
SeatGeek. Oh,
everything's brought to you by SeatGeek.
the whole thing's brought to you by SeatGeek.
This is the SeatGeek show.
It is SeatGeek show.
Keys to the game. Hit me with them.
Keys to the game. Are you ready?
You asking me?
Can you go first? I'm still
I was born ready. I'm ready. Brandon Marsh.
dosing his hair in water before he plays indoors.
Thank his dad for that one. So, Brandon Marsh, the 9-hole hitter for the Fighting Phils. It is crucial that he steps up and starts to figure it out come first pitch or his first at bat in this series. He was a sad offer in the championship series. He was 0 for 13, but he was 4 for 13 in the wild card series and the division series. The thing though is he does in the wild card and division series, it got some guys on base for the top of the lineup. And especially when you're on top, when the top of your lineup consists of two power guys, for the Phillies, that'll be Kyle Schwarber and Rhys Hoskins. It is very important that you've got a guy at the bottom of the lineup who might not be a power guy, but hits for average, because that's where you need runners on base. So Schwarber's home runs, Hoskins' home runs aren't completely useless. So I do think that while Brandon Marsh might not be the guy who you see on the box score or who you see when you're watching the game highlights, he could be producing the Phillies more runs than you might see on paper. So that is something to keep an eye out for. And another thing that you could, if you want to take that from a different angle, think about every home run Kyle Schwarber, Rhys Hoskins, or even JT Realmuto are going to hit this series. You could say, what if Brandon Marsh got on base? So, even though you might say he's a 9-hole hitter, it doesn't matter. The way the Phillies lineup is constructed, the 9-hole hitter is probably more important than your 7 or 8-hole hitters. And having Brandon Marsh down there, I really do think it's the right guy. I think he fits that spot perfectly, especially for a pretty well constructed offense like the Phillies have.
Yes, my key of the game, brought to you by SeatGeek. Use code Philly Sports SeatGeek. In 2008, Game 1, Chase Utley hit a home run at the Trop in the first inning. 2-run home run off Scott Kazmir, which really set the tone, and the Phillies won that game 3-2 thanks to that home run. In this game, the Phillies need to do the exact same thing and jump out in front early. Justin Verlander, 39 years old. He's been here a lot. Settle in, score some runs early. Set the tone.
That's a great point. I mean, this Astros bullpen is very, very good. I mean, all you got to do is look at their closer, Ryan Tepera. He is lights out. I mean, I'm thinking
Well,
of the Astros series, the Yankees series. He dominated that lineup, which has a ton of very talented power bats
yeah.
in their lineup, especially the time. And really, in that postseason, their offense was pretty good. I mean, you saw guys like Harrison Bader step up. I'm trying to think who else had a good series. Aaron Judge started to figure it out towards the end of the series, but I mean, it's just really good. I mean, Brian Abreu back there. The one guy who we won't see, Ben. Do you know why we're not going to see Phil Maton?
Phil?
Phil
Why not?
Maton. Oh, you didn't hear this story.
Probably not.
Ooh, you got some popcorn near you? This is a popcorn-worthy story, I promise.
Popcorn's upstairs.
Here, this is my fake popcorn. Crumpled the C note. Here you go. There we go. Perfect.
Throw it.
You caught it. Oh. Well, that was good. That was perfect at the camera. Anyway, there's your popcorn. Because Phil Maton punched his locker
Oh,
after
yeah.
Nick Maton.
Yeah.
Nick Maton got hit off of Phil, his brother.
I did hear about that.
He broke his hand, Ben.
Idiot.
He can't. He has to get surgery and will not be able to play for the rest of the season.
Dummy.
If the Astros bullpen implodes, which it's not likely, but it's possible, can you blame it on? Can you blame it on Nick Maton?
No.
That's Phil, man. You gotta control yourself. Yeah. So I mean, great bullpen for Houston. Really good. I mean, all you gotta do is look at their innings and their runs. Over 30 innings, less than 5 runs. I believe they're like 33 and a third, and something around that, 33 and a third, 3 runs. Very, very, and there's a lot of guys there with longevity too, right? They can pitch multiple innings. Luis Garcia threw 5 scoreless innings in the 18-inning game against Seattle. Right, Hector Neris. I mean, we watched a lot of Hector. He can give you an inning or two.
Heck.
Right? So, I mean, these guys are they're going to be relentless. Another thing with that is they're not going to be like some of the guys, Connor Brogdon's or I'm trying to think, Seranthony Dominguez's, who can't necessarily pitch. These guys are workhorses too. They will pitch every night. I mean, if there is a close, a safe situation, Ryan Tepera will be there. Unless it's his 4th game in a row, Tepera will be there. I mean, they've won 9 consecutive games, and he's closed out almost all of them. So, I mean, they're not changing their game plan. I mean, what team with 9 consecutive wins would change their game plan, especially going into, I hate to say it, but they're an 107-win team, 6-win team, facing the 87-win Phillies who barely squeaked in the playoffs. Who's going to have a washed Noah Syndergaard starting game 4, the middle game in Philadelphia? I mean, unfortunately, the Phillies just do not compare to the Astros. I mean, their bullpen is shaky. The offense, that may be the one spot where I'd say they're like close to even. But the rotation, I really do think if the Phillies lose this series, it might not be that the Phillies' rotation is poor. I do think that it could be the Astros' rotation just excels. There are some very talented guys
If the Phillies do lose the series, it's because this Astros team is one of the best constructed, I'll say, in baseball.
They're well-rounded.
Yeah.
They've got all 3 elements of them, right? Pitching, hitting, defense. Well, I guess pitching has your subgroups, your bullpen, your starters. But they've got all 4 of those things. And the Phillies, they have bits and pieces.
Yeah.
They have had enough bits and pieces to carry them to where they are today. But eventually those bits and pieces are not going to hold up.
Gotta hope for the best. A tweet from Destiny Lugardo, Team of the Destiny. Brandon Marsh was being interviewed by a little girl on Media Day, which is my dream, and I'm fortunate I was never able to do it. What are you laughing at?
I don't think that was little girl, Ben. That is Alex Coffey.
Alex Coffey. You ruined the joke. Destiny
Sorry,
Destiny
I didn't realize
Destiny tweeted, I haven't seen my chin since high school. Media day is great. Someone replied, wow, at Alex Coffey is shorter than I realized. Damn. Shots fired.
that. Oof,
No, but you
that
can
one
see on the
hurts.
microphone that it's literally a little kid organization. It's not actually Alex Coffey.
No,
Did you actually
it's
think it was
Alex.
Did you actually think it was Alex Coffey?
Oh, it's not? I didn't actually realize that. No, I did not. Oh, man, now I look really dumb. Anyhow.
And that's why this is live. Anyway, prediction for tonight's game. Game 1 of the 2022 World Series between the Houston Astros suck and the Philadelphia Phillies. Comment your predictions, by the way.
Please do. We'd be happy to hear them.
Go ahead, Colin.
Comment those predictions. Make sure to follow us on all of our social medias. The Philadelphia Phillies and Houston Astros are 7 games away from deciding who will take home the crown for 2022.
Woo!
When you get on those social medias, you will make sure to check out all of our pages. We'll have game coverage for all 7 games. Post-game write-ups on our website, phillysportsreports.com, and we'll have features on both off days. Thank you all for listening.
Hold on, Colin. You never gave us your prediction. What are you doing?
In 7. That's all I got.
No,
I don't know who.
For the game,
Oh,
game 1.
We did this. Did we not? Oh, wait,
Not
nope.
on the podcast, not the...
I'm getting my things meshed. No, game 1 today. We have a 5-3 Philadelphia Phillies victory. Aaron Nola goes 5 2/3 strong innings, allows 2 runs. And then we'll say D-Rob allows 1 on the back end. Nah, I like D-Rob, but we'll give it to Bilotti.
Bilotti better not pitch. Bilotti better not pitch.
I don't know. I love all the Phillies bullpen guys. It's hard not to.
I hate both of them.
No, come on. We love our squad in the pen.
Gotta love the pen. Anyway, I'm cutting you off because we gotta wrap this up.
This is true.
My prediction, I think 5-3 is a little too high scoring for these pitchers. I think Nola pitches good. I think he goes 7 very good innings, and I think the bullpen gives up a run. But I think Verlander makes a few mistakes, and I think the Phillies pull it out 3-1 victory. Your Philadelphia Phillies take game 1 3-1.
Thank you all for listening. We are going to end today's live pregame show so you all can get the game. We are coming up here in about 30 minutes, almost exactly. The Philadelphia Phillies will play in their first World Series game since 2009. This is Colin Daly and Benjamin Goldstein live from the Philly Sports Phillies pregame show. Good night, everybody.
Let's go, Phils!